Texting. Welcome back. Segment 2, Wet My Whistle Wednesday. The redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo. I'm the highly questionable one, RJ Miliaccio. It is a Wet My Whistle Wednesday here in the SAC IDD. For those of you in the know, I don't disagree. Segment 2, football, and hey, football. With a splash of Draymond probably at the end. Maybe a little more splash. Anyway, so segment 2. Hey, funny thing happened here. We've got Donnie Brooks Abound again. This is why I love the NFL. This is why you can't stop watching it, because when parity is actually like this, when you've got a lot of good teams and a lot of teams that win different ways, styles make fights, and there's a ton of good ones this weekend. Tomorrow night is interesting for 2 reasons. One, because the Bears win, they're actually 3-3, and I don't know how the hell that team is winning. I honestly don't know how the hell they're doing it. I actually have Montgomery, the discernible weapon they have, the running back, and he got knocked out last weekend, and but they're 2-3, and if they win tomorrow,
who they beat? San Fran and who?
They beat San Fran, and they beat I think it was the Texans. But in any event, they were very competitive with Minnesota or somebody else that they were in the game rather with. And
they were competitive with the Giants.
They were competitive with the Giants. So it's not like they're not a bad football team. They don't have a lot on paper, but they're like the Giants. What they do have is really good, and they know how to use it. So
you think the Bears are as good as the Giants?
No, I do not.
You said they're like the Giants.
Well, they're like in terms of the way they're winning, because they have an awesome back. They have an awesome running back in Montgomery. No one talks about him because they don't win normally. But you ever see this kid play? He's quietly one of the best football players in the league. Montgomery, he really is. He just doesn't have a lot around him. And they drafted the kid Wilson from Ohio State, so he's supposed to be the next great thing.
Wilson?
Yeah. No, was it not Wilson? What's his name?
Justin Fields.
I'm sorry, Justin Fields. But he hasn't had a lot to work with.
He has not been good.
He's not been good. In fact, he's been god-awful. But
again, I haven't watched a full Bears game.
Well, he doesn't.
I want to watch this
game.
He
is like Danny Dimes in this. He's got one damn weapon. So it's kind of hard to judge him because he doesn't have anything to work with outside of a running back. And I think Daboll's a better coach than the guy in Chicago.
Who is in Chicago?
Well,
that's a new situation there, isn't it?
I believe it is. Hold on. Here we go. Chicago. The Bears.
We're eating again.
Yep. Shameless plug.
All the olives.
Stuffed
baby. Jalapeno.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with it. What the hell is his name?
Don't forget the stuffed garlic, too.
Yeah, those are glorious, too. Yeah, I got all that. Where is the guy? Where's the coach? Where's the coach?
Yeah, I really don't know anyone on the Bears.
Yeah. Well,
except for Montgomery,
Justin Fields. If you look down that roster, man, I don't know. I can't.
Who are their wideouts?
Nobody you would know. I don't know any.
They don't have any retreads there?
No. One guy they had was Corn Robinson. He went to L.A. He's gone. He got out of there for a bit greener pastures. Look, I don't know who they are. Seriously, I couldn't tell you one guy on this roster that's...
But I think we're more interested in this game because of the other side, right?
Well, this is the thing. This is what I believe is Carson's last stand. If we're being honest here, I don't know...
Obviously, Riverboat Ron isn't a fan.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too, by the way. But if you look, if it was weak sauce, it really was. And
weak sauce? Are you going to say awesome sauce next?
No, I said weak sauce.
Are you going to say awesome sauce next?
No, I'm not. That guy did it at work, and I want to kill him. Carson Wentz, 63%, 10 touchdown passes, 6 picks, rating of 86. Their running game has failed them. Their running game, this is the other thing. The running game last year was very good. Their running game right now is averaging 89 yards a game.
All right.
So
I got some feedback for all the olives. Just got half a pit. Almost broke my damn teeth. Do better.
McLaren is having a good year. And Samuel. They've got 2 good wideouts. Curtis Samuel, yeah, he's having a good year. But after those 2, there's a severe drop-off. I don't know what happened to this running game that was but they don't look – they look like a shell of themselves right now. 89 yards a game rushing. That is not going to help out.
Well, didn't their one back get shot?
Yeah, but that wasn't their star back, the lead guy. I don't think.
I don't really know who their lead back is.
But it was last year.
I know they had McKissick.
The guy, was it Gibson?
Gibson.
Is
he on the team this year? Antonio Gibson?
Yep. He's rushed for 179 yards. So, in any event, they're not running the ball, which was what last year was the one thing they did do.
And Carson's in a new system.
Yeah, he's in a new system, and you got to have a running game because that just takes a lot of pressure off you. He's thrown 10 touchdown passes. Okay? 6 interceptions is not good, but he's not the worst in the league. But when you have no running game and your defense can tee off on you. Now, look, that being said, that throw he made last Sunday was one of the worst throws I have seen in recent memory because when you see it looks bad from the TV angle. When you see the replay from the back where you're behind his head, he's looking right at these two defensive backs as he throws it, and he thinks he can get it into that window.
You think it was arrogance?
I think I don't know what it was because honestly, all he had to do was throw it away. It was second down. He did not have to throw that ball. It made no sense. If he had to throw it, it's fourth down or it's the last play. He's running out of time. I understand almost. He had to make something happen.
How much time was left when he made that throw?
Oh, I know. They were going to get at least 2 more plays.
Maybe. Is that when I was talking about them running it and you were like, they don't have timeouts?
Well, that's why you don't run it.
Right. Yeah. But is that when – because I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, because they had run out of whatever reason, they didn't have any timeouts. So,
there was like 16 seconds left or something?
Yeah, which you could throw 3 plays into the end zone, basically.
Right.
So, 4 because they needed,
Right.
So anyway, this was second down, to my recollection, and he didn't need to throw it. If nothing's there, throw it away. He forced it. So, I can't get between his ears. I can't tell you what he was thinking. But when you look at it from the end zone camera, I find it hard to believe he didn't see what I saw. Which is there's one guy on either side of this receiver, and they're very close. They're very close.
He was trying to be Aaron Rodgers and thread a football through a needle in a haystack.
Basically, throw it through the needle in the haystack, through the hole in the needle in the haystack.
So even with that poor throw, it was not right what Ron Rivera said about him.
Not at all.
Basically,
he threw him under the bus.
He
threw him under the bus.
Them not being a strong team in the NFC East on the quarterback.
He
didn't say his name.
Yeah.
Said
he said quarterback. Well, everybody knew who he was talking about.
But I almost feel like it's more disrespectful the way he said it.
Like you can't see the problem. That's the way he made it sound. But if I look at the numbers, here's a problem.
And the question asked to him was, why are all the other teams in the NFC East successful and you're not?
I mean, they are.
He said quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't start there. I'd start with your shitty running game because you don't have one. 89 yards a game, that's atrocious. Okay, that's god awful. Let's start with that because that has nothing to do with Carson Wentz. Okay, and I'm not defending Carson Wentz here. I'm not a fan of his. But the bottom line is, for a coach to come out and say that.
That was weak.
That's terrible. It's
you know what he said about it today?
No. He doubled down?
No. He apologized.
Yeah, he should have. He was a dickhead.
But I thought it was a half-ass apology.
Probably was.
He said, look, I just talked to my team. I told them I said some things that got misconstrued.
Misconstrued. Is that how he put it?
Nothing about that statement was misconstrued.
Nope.
You got a softball question asked to you.
Yep.
Where you could have said something about how, in all phases of the game, we need to improve because the other 3 teams in our division play all 3 phases of the game well. But instead, you blamed one player, Riverboat Ron, the most honorable man in football, as he's always. That's kind of how they paint him,
Yeah.
And I mean, he seems to have a good track record. Cancer survivor, all this shit.
No, and he went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean.
So he's got a record as a winner.
He seems like a solid guy.
Look, this was out of character for him. That's the thing. But
here's the thing.
That's where I was so like, where the fuck?
When he said, I told my team I said some stuff that was misconstrued, I didn't like that. Yeah. Then he went on to say, I said some things, I was having a bad day. If he had said, I was having a bad day, just without the misconstrued part, I think I believe that.
Yeah.
Like, he was just pissed off.
They lost. He caught him in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe he was just looked at tape of Wentz throwing that pick and was like, that's why we didn't fucking win that game. And that's why we're 1-4.
I mean,
you know, and I think that's probably what happened.
I would say the problems go way beyond Carson Wentz. He's one problem.
Sure.
And I don't think he's the biggest one. He's been sacked 20 times, all right? That means the line sucks. Okay, that's 4 sacks a game on average. They played 5 fucking games. He's been sacked. That's 4 fucking sacks a game. And Carson Wentz is a pretty mobile guy. So you can't pass block. You can't run block. Your defense is giving up almost 26 points a game.
I told you he holds it, though.
And if you look at total yardage, they're 18th in the league, the bottom half of the league in yards allowed. This is not just the quarterback. You're not, you said it earlier in the show, in segment 1 in the beginning, where 3 phases of the game. They're not doing well in anything else. Right. So how do you turn around and say it's just the quarterback? The one bright spot's been your damn quarterback. He's got 10 touchdown passes, and your number 1 receiver's having a Pro Bowl year. They're your 2. It ain't those 2. Okay? So now have they been healthy? Look, Chase Young listen, he's that dude. I haven't had him. Look at Pittsburgh's defense since they lost Watt. Okay? I'm telling you, this happens. What if Dallas loses Micah Parsons?
They're nothing.
They're nothing without him.
Maybe that's messed up to say about that defense, but it seems like when he is the anchor.
He's Aaron Donald. When you think about from a defensive standpoint, okay, here's a free one on me. When you know how great you are on defense when the offense dictates or dedicates 2 people to you on every single fucking play. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's when you know how dominant you are. And Micah Parsons is just like Aaron. That's 2 every fucking play. Aaron Donald is. It's hard enough to fight 1 guy for an hour. Try fighting 2. Okay, and Aaron Donald usually wins. Okay, and so does Micah Parsons. That's how dominant these. And Watt's another one who's like that for Pittsburgh. Yeah, when he's healthy, he's a freaking beast. So. And Chase Young is on that level when he's healthy.
But even without Chase Young, they have high pedigree guys on that defense.
They have some others
that are not getting pressure.
They're not getting it done. They're not. So I'm saying this goes way beyond Carson Wentz.
Right.
You want to point to turnovers and say, okay, fine, that's fair. I get that. And that last throw was atrocious.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. I'm not excusing him of that. But
it's just coming from a coach.
They've been in every game but 1. They literally could have won the 3 of the 4 that they lost. They were all 1-possession games. So they could have gone either way, okay? So, and you're doing that with no running game and not really any defense.
But when you're losing close games constantly, you know what it makes me think of?
What?
Coaching staff. And that's why I think it rubbed me the wrong ways. Because it's like, dude, you're losing close games all year long. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that is coaching.
Of course it is. Or
because you're doing just enough to lose. You're not getting over the hump. You're not playing to your potential. A coach needs to look in the damn mirror on that one.
When I look at
my opinion.
Here's the other thing.
I'm not saying a coach makes that much of a difference in terms of motivating and getting people to execute, but a coach who thinks they make an impact certainly believes that.
Let's talk about this because they beat Jacksonville, who's a good team, first game. Their losses are to Detroit, number 1 offense in the league, Philadelphia, undefeated, Dallas, 4-1, Tennessee, first place in the AFC South. Those are their 4 losses. And they've been in every one of those games but 1. Maybe you've just played some of the best teams in the league. And you're close, but you're not quite there yet. That could be it too. Because when you look at that schedule,
tough schedule.
That's a tough schedule. I mean, Chicago might be the break they need to get rolling.
Well, I wonder what
But Chicago's got 2 wins.
What's the Skins? I'm sorry, the frickin' Guardians.
Commanders.
What's the Guardians?
Commanders.
What's the Commanders' next 4 games?
At Chicago.
Okay.
Green Bay at home.
Ooh.
At Indy. Minnesota at home. Not easy.
That's not easy.
Not easy. They have not had a cupcake schedule
at
all.
I think the NFC East, not the NFC East, the NFC in general, has a lot of decent teams.
They're
Maybe
better.
Maybe not great teams.
No, but they got a lot of good ones. Minnesota is 4-1.
They're pretty
good. They are good. They've got 3 studs too. 3 studs, legit studs.
Now Detroit is what, 1-4?
Detroit's 1-4, but they're the highest scoring team in the league. They've been in every damn game.
Some things well.
The worst blowout they had was Sunday in Foxborough. They were in every damn game until that. So
they do some things well.
They do some things well.
The Packers are they
3-2?
3-2. They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. Philadelphia 5-0. Giants 4-1. Cowboys 4-1 with no starting quarterback.
Yeah. Cowboys defense is awesome.
You know, and then if you look at the whole AFC West, 3-2, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. There's a lot of parity. Mm-hmm. So really, now again, the teams they've played, I don't think are on. They're a little above notch. Jacksonville being the one team that's not quite there yet, but they beat them.
Where are they in the South?
They're in second place.
Are they 2-3?
They're 2-3. The Titans are 3-2.
I'd like to see Jacksonville make the playoffs.
They can. They've been in every game.
Be interesting to see.
They
what's
lost.
His face.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
the quarterback's name again?
Oh, Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. There you go.
I knew I'd get to it eventually.
Goldilocks.
Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence. Blondie. But anyway, but the point is, the Redskins. I mean, there it is again. The
Guardians.
The Commanders. The Guardians.
The Atlanta baseball team.
The Peaches.
The Peaches.
That was segment 1. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. Anyway, so the bottom line is they've played a very tough schedule. There's not one cupcake in those first 5 games. There isn't one. The cupcake was supposed to be Jacksonville. They beat Jacksonville.
The problem is they could have won every damn one of them.
Except for Philly. Philly was the one game
they looked like crap.
Yeah, but they were in every other game. They were. So, I mean, you can only get so mad. And Carson Wentz is playing. I mean, you look at these defenses. Philly and Dallas have 2 of the top, if you statistically, and Tennessee's no slouch either. I mean, they played some really good defenses, too. So it's not all, when you look at that schedule and who those opponents, it's not actually a surprise. They've been competitive. What more? You want to win. It hurts when
it
you
just
close.
sucks because
they could have won a couple.
Are they 1-4?
They're 1-4, and they could have won 3 of them.
Yeah, it sucks because it already feels like you're completely out of it.
But the thing is, they're not, because
if they were looking at the next 4 games.
Well, Chicago has no offense beyond one.
They should be.
They should be Chicago. Green Bay coming into.
I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay.
I don't think Green Bay. Well, I got news for you. I don't think Green Bay is as good as people think they are.
I don't think Green Bay's that good.
I don't. They're beatable. They're beatable. I think.
Watching the Giants
and Chase Young will probably be back by then. When they play Green Bay, that will help.
I know.
That will help.
It's tough for me to see them beating Green Bay.
At home, I can see them. Now, the next game after that at Indy, okay.
You think Indy's going to beat them, but not Green Bay?
Indy's in Indy. If it were in Washington, definitely Washington.
Indy's trash, aren't they?
They're 2-1. And they beat Kansas City. How are they trash?
Oh, yeah,
they beat Kansas City.
That's good.
They're definitely not trash.
That's a good point.
Okay, and they backed it up. They won the next week to prove it wasn't a fluke. They're not. No, they're, yeah.
Who'd they beat?
They went on the road and won in Denver in that slop fest. They went in there and they shut freaking that team down. On the road, dude, it's hard to go into Mile High and play for a number of reasons, the altitude being one of them. Okay, if you don't work there, and you're going, it's a whole different. Believe me, the Patriots used to have fits going out there.
That was Indy that beat them.
In Denver. So they did, but they beat KC.
Is that when Russell Wilson was like, "Let's ride"?
Yeah, it was after that.
he was like Denver country.
That's right.
Broncos country.
Did you do a little point, a little subtle? That's right.
No, he
Did you do a little wink?
As he was walking off the stage, he was like, "Let's ride."
Did you do an eyebrow? Did you do a Spock with one eyebrow go up? Like do one of these?
He was pretty cringy.
All right. Well, I tell you, that's the gift that keeps on giving. I keep watching it, and you can feel the tension in the room. You can feel the reporters going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like they want to say it, but they're so stunned. They don't know what they're like. What the fuck is that? Like what? You just fucking lost to the Colts, but the Colts had just beaten the Chiefs.
Okay, so pick tomorrow's game.
It's in Chicago.
I'm going Guardians. That's what I'm calling them from now on.
I'm going to call them the Peaches. Until they win. Or the Tulips. I might call them the Tulips. Anyway, it's... Honestly, this is a coin flip game because it's in Chicago. I think... Here's what I will say. Washington is the desperate team. Usually in a game like this, the desperate team is the one that prevails. So I will give a slight edge. I think I'm going to say Washington's going to pull it out, say 23-20. It's going to be close the whole game because neither one of them is good enough to pull away from the other one, barring turnovers. Which, by the way, is another big problem. Washington takes care of the ball, and I think that's another thing. Give your defense a chance. They put their defense in some bad spots.
I'm going to pick Washington in a blowout.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I don't know. Like, Washington gets in the high 20s.
So, previewing this weekend real quick, Giants, big one against Baltimore. This is going to be a really big test for the Giants because this quarterback is playing. He's doing everything. Let's put it that way. He's throwing well. He's
talking
running
about
well.
Lamar?
Lamar is having a phenomenal year right now. He really is. So they got this guy.
He's been phenomenal since they put him out there.
But this guy is he's been at the top of his game since the first snap of the season. So this to me is the ultimate test for the Giants. If they can somehow contain this guy and just keep him, they're not going to stop him. But if they can contain him and keep that, and they don't, and again, they've been doing an excellent job taking care of the football. They're in the top 10. They're actually +2 right now in turnovers for the year. The Gmen.
Really?
Yep. And they're also number 2 in the league. In the whole league, they're number 2 in rushing. As a team.
They're number 2 in turnovers.
I'm saying they're in the top 10 in turnover in terms of turnover differential. They're +2. Okay. So they're 7th or 8th. I forget. I think they're in a tie. So that's been a stark contrast the last 3 years when they've been turnover happy. So to be in the top 10, that's a good sign. They're taking care of the ball. They're running the ball. Number 2 in the league.
I thought they hadn't had a lot of turnovers.
Number 2 in the league in rushing.
I haven't gotten to see that many games.
Well, tomorrow night number 2 in the league. Or Sunday it'll be on. So number 2 in the league in turnover differential. Mm-hmm. So they're taking care of the ball and they're running the ball.
They're number 2 in the league in turnover differential.
They're 2 in the league in rushing. They are number 2. They're the second best rushing offense in the entire NFL.
Oh, that's big.
That's huge.
That helps a team out.
They're
immensely.
4. I tell you, I keep saying this. And Phillies who's 5-0. They're number 3 in the league in rushing. Okay.
It's funny in football because when you have a run game like that, it helps out
everything.
Everything.
It changes everything.
It helps your defense.
Yeah.
Because your defense isn't gassed all the time.
No. Yep.
It's funny how...
And it beats the other team up.
Right.
It beats them up, okay? It really does.
It's funny because in football, a lot of things work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have a pass rush, your secondary benefits from that greatly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool how in football, one thing makes other things better. I like that. And I guess it's like that in all sports, but... it's just
the Giants are 11th in the league in total defense. 11th. And they are only giving up, and you're really going to like this one, they are only giving up 18 points a game. They are one of 9 teams in the entire NFL that are holding opponents below 20.
Well, that's pretty cool.
If you're holding a team with these rules, which is so geared towards the offense, if you are holding these teams below 20 points a game, you have a defense. Okay? Because there's 32 teams in this league. Only 9 of them are doing that right now. Okay?
But you also have to give credit, some of that, to the running game.
Well, it's helped.
Because
one hand washes the other.
You're keeping other teams off the field, which
Absolutely.
is awesome.
Yeah, it is. So they are, if you look at, we talked about this, the top defenses. In terms of scoring, Buffalo 1, San Fran 2, Dallas 3, Denver 4, Jacksonville 5, Tampa Bay 6, Philadelphia 7. Look at those teams, okay? Then you look at yardage per game, just yards allowed, okay? San Francisco, Buffalo, Denver, Philly, Green Bay,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay, Dallas, Colts, Jacksonville, top 10. Okay, Giants are 12th. Okay, so this is not a coincidence that this is happening. Okay, it's not. And the other thing about the Giants that most people don't know, this is the one that really shocked me because I don't know. We were talking about how do you name, can you name anybody, in this secondary? Like the Giants are also
Xavier McKinney. I know him.
They're 8th in the league in pass. They are holding passing 194 yards a game in the air is all they're giving up. They're 8th in the league.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Under
200 yards. With these rules, that's pretty fucking impressive.
And Thibodeau really just started playing a few weeks ago.
So my point is the Giants are not just a running game. They have a solid defense, and the offense is helping them. Danny Dimes is taking care of the ball, and they are running it and smashing it down teams' throats, and they're shortening the game. And I got news for you: I said this. There are two things that travel in football: a running game and a defense.
Get on the Greyhound.
A running game. There are two
It's
things
crazy
that travel.
though because dude, they've got like practice squad linebackers. However, one of their practice squad linebackers that I was listening to them talk about him last week,
Yes.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
I think he was a number 1 pick for the Cowboys years ago,
Really?
but he had some. I think he had some issues
Okay.
that cost him. You know, I don't, or maybe knee get hurt. Was he a Notre Dame linebacker, Jalen Smith?
I don't know. Maybe.
He was like a big. He was a.
Well, he was a first-round draft pick, wasn't he?
I think so. But they were like, yeah, the Giants activated him off their practice squad.
Maybe he was injured,
And I was like, damn, yeah.
and they were getting him reps to get him back into shape, and they're going to bring him up when he was ready.
Right, but I mean, the Cowboys obviously just let him go.
Well, maybe they gave up on him too fast. Who knows? I mean, how old is he?
Jalen Smith is an American football linebacker for the New York Giants. He played college football at Notre Dame
Yeah.
and was drafted 34th. Okay, he was
So,
second round
well,
pick.
that's still high.
Yeah,
The
34th
player
overall
in
by
draft,
the
yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah.
So, look, the key for the Giants is this: continue to run the ball, because here's the thing: the Ravens aren't a great defense. They can be had. They've proven it time and time. The Patriots ran it down their throat. If the Patriots didn't turn the ball over 3 times, they would have beat them. But they turned the ball over 3 times. They threw 2 picks in the end zone, okay, against the Ravens. So that's where the game was lost there, because they ran all over them. And the Giants have a better running game than the Patriots do. So the Giants can run it right down their throat and have Lamar sitting on his pretty little hiney, okay, not doing anything but holding a clipboard or looking at a screen, wondering when he's going to get back in there. That's their best defense. And the other thing about that is if they get a lead and they force these guys to be one-dimensional because they feel like they have to catch up, one thing Lamar Jackson's still prone to do is turnovers. He's still prone to throwing picks. If the Giants get a lead early and get them behind where they feel like they have to throw, and he starts to press, which he has been known to do, Giants are, telling you right now, they have a shot at this. Where is that game being played, by the way? It's in New York.
So
It's at MetLife. It's at home. Well, that's 10 points right there.
10? You think that's worth 10?
In the NFL, home teams are 10 points better home than on the road. That's a statistical fact. Yeah, that's 10 points right there on average, and that's average. They're a 4-1 team. They're not average. Okay, they've got a top 10 defense. If you think about it, they're a top 10. They're the top 10 defense, number 2 rushing attack in the entire NFL, and they got a quarterback who's not turning the ball over. Okay,
They got to keep playing like that.
well, that's their formula.
Yeah.
But by the way, I got news for you people. That's kind of the formula how everybody wins eventually. Okay, because just some of these
Unless you have some crazy offense where you just go nuts.
If you're the 2007 Patriots or the Colts with Peyton Manning, or where you can just throw the ball over the field and beat, but there's not, or Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah, Mahomes,
but when you have a running game, that's not like a running game. A running game makes a good quarterback better, a better quarterback great, an average quarterback good.
Okay, so pick it.
I've got the Giants winning that game. I've got them winning 28 to 24.
Really?
Yep, I do. I think they take care of the
think-
ball.
I think Baltimore
I think Lamar has a great game, but I think they force him into a mistake.
I hope you're right.
I think they do. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Giants at home, they have momentum right now. They have a running game. That defense is for real, and that quarterback is gaining confidence by the week. And by the way, the Ravens secondary sucks. It sucks. So if Danny Dimes is ever going to this could be that game, by the way, because they can be had.
Ravens have bad run defense too, don't they?
They are not a good defense, period. They manned up the other night against Cincinnati, good offense.
That was a low-scoring game.
Yeah, it was. So they manned up that night because everybody called them out. And now here come the Giants, and they think, well, I got news for you. They're going to find out real quick about Saquon Barkley. They're going to find out about him real quick. Okay? So, because I think they're thinking, well, they got one guy. Yeah, well, they're 4-1 with that one guy. Okay? And they're not one guy.
Well, remember, that's what you were saying. You were
They're
like,
not.
the Giants have 2 players.
Yeah. Well, they do.
Daniel Jones
But
and
having
Saquon
looked at that
Barkley.
defense, what that defense has done for 5 games, they've got a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk, well, they're not in the book. One hand washes the other. The defense, by the way, is giving the ball back to the offense
No
to
doubt.
keep doing what they're doing.
No, the defense showed up last
Yeah.
week in London.
They
got Aaron Rodgers off the field.
They
a
shut
couple
him
times.
down
Yeah.
in the second half. The first half, they were like, Second half, they put the clamps on him in the second half. And that, by the way, that's hard to do.
The only points scored by the Packers in the second half were 2 points on a safety.
That's it. They didn't get a field goal. They didn't get a field goal range for a whole half.
And also
I mean-
because the Giants' offense was putting legitimate drives together.
The Packers couldn't stop them. They scored on 5 straight possessions. They couldn't stop
I
them.
haven't seen the Giants do that in years.
No, but the thing is, the quarterback's gaining confidence. He's getting comfortable in the system. The running back is finally fucking healthy.
Yeah.
And they know if you get him in space, if he gets in space, he's like McCaffrey. You get him in space where he can run over you, he can run around you.
He's one of the few guys I actually like in the Wildcat.
He knows how to use that.
Right. Because remember we were watching it and I was like, why are they going Wildcat?
He knows
and
when.
Then boom, he runs a touchdown.
He knows when to turn it. No guy, because even if there's nothing, he gets 3 yards.
Yeah.
Okay? And if it's a 3-yard play, he gets a 6-yard play. Because he knows how to hit the gaps. And he's always, the thing I love about Saquon, people don't talk about this, but if you're a running back, you understand. Saquon Barkley is one of those rare backs that is always falling forward. And when you think about that, I'm 6'4". How many feet is that? There's 3 feet in a yard. Okay? I'm 2 feet when I fall over.
You mean 2 yards?
I'm 2 yards. I'm 2 yards when I fall. I'm saying I'm 2 yards when I fall over. So he's at least 1.5 yards. Okay.
What is he? 5'8"?
He's 5'8", but he falls forward every single time. Derrick Henry falls. Najee. These backs all have some things in common. When they go down, they're going forward and getting more yards.
The crazy thing is,
and he does this very well.
When he came back off his injury, he was not that back. And that's why everyone was like, man.
Probably because he was gun-shy because he was afraid of getting hit. Now he's over it.
Yeah.
He's got his confidence back, and now he's a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
5.5 yards a carry he's averaging. And they know it's coming.
But you're right. It hasn't been one of those things. When I was watching that game, it wasn't like he had 2 big runs and that was it. Now, he has had some big runs.
That first reception?
Right.
When he split him out and he got that 40-yarder, that was amazing.
He cut in on
that was the play that kind of got him going.
Right.
Actually.
But you look at his other runs and first down 4 yards.
Yeah.
Through a pile of shit.
He falls forward.
Yeah.
So if it's 3 yards, it's 4.5.
Exactly.
If it's 4, it's 5.5. He's always, and all the great backs do this. I'm not making this up. If you watch the Patriots, we'll get the Patriots in a minute, but Ramondre Stevenson, this dude, he 161 yards rushing. Every time he goes down, he falls forward, and he's over 6 feet. He's like 6 feet, so he falls forward. He's getting another 1.5 to 2 yards every time he goes down. And good running backs understand this because you can think about that. You can turn a 2-yard gain into a 4-yard gain.
It's hard to do.
And there's very few backs can
spear you right in the
you know why it's hard to do?
chest.
Because you're getting hit from everywhere.
Mainly from where you want to fall.
Where you want to go, yeah. So to get in those gaps, and Jerry Rice was great. Jerry Rice always would fall forward. He always get the extra. He knew how to dive and avoid the big hit. Yeah. And he always get another 2-3 yards when he slide, but he always go forward. Yeah. Saquon Barkley reminds me of him when he does that. But anyway, I think that's what I think about them on Sunday. Hey, Patriots. Who
are the Pats playing?
They're playing at Cleveland. Cleveland's run defense is also atrocious. Patriots
got to win.
The Chargers ran all over them last night. But you look at the numbers, like 180, whatever it was. They ran all over them, right up their ass. And the Patriots would be wise to say anything. Now, here's the other thing. Mac Jones is sounding like a game-time decision.
Really? I wouldn't do it.
I'm not saying they should do it.
I think Zappe can win this game.
I think he can win this game. And again, this comes down to 2 things, just like them. Run the football and by the way, the Patriots, by the way, not only do they have an elite defense, they have their own defensive stud that no one's talking about, who's leading the NFL in sacks right now. Matt Judon, who made the Pro Bowl last year. They stole him from the Ravens 2 years ago. And this is the one that Belichick got right, but he's a defensive guy, so he should have fucking got this one right.
He was causing havoc last week.
The strip sack fumble for the touchdown.
Yeah.
He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, 2 sacks, 3 tackles, a forced fumble. AFC, and he's leading the NFL. He's tied with the kid from the Raiders, McCroskey, with 6 sacks. Max Crosby, 6 sacks. And so the Patriots have a defense too. They are also one of the 9 teams that are holding opponents under 20 a game. So they're in the game. Their problem has been turnovers.
Dude, isn't that great when your D doesn't give up 20?
If you continue,
you're in every game.
You're in every game. And the Pats have been in every single game. Okay, they should have won every single game. But Matt, look, I'm not going to pile on Matt Patricia because actually for the past week and a half, he's actually looked like a coordinator. Who has a clue? So hopefully he keeps it going. No, because he's been better. Now he had nowhere to go but up, but he's been better. Okay, so take it for what it is. But he's done it for a game and a half now, and I think he can do it again. And if he can, the Patriots should win on Sunday. In fact, I'm predicting, because I said last week they were going to win 6 in a row, so I'm not going to back off
They're going to beat the Browns.
They're going to beat them. Okay, I think it's going to be probably one of those 27-20, something like that. But I think they're going to lead most of the way. I think. But here's the thing.
What's y'all's rushing D like, though?
Good.
Because I feel like that's the key.
Well,
you
Chubb.
shut down
You
Chubb.
shut down Nick Chubb. And I think Belichick's a guy. Because one thing Belichick is notoriously known for is he is very good at taking your number 1 away.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever that is, if he focuses on it, that guy is going to have a bad day. Because every time Belichick puts eyes on someone and really does it, nobody does it better than him in that regard.
That's a tough back to shut down, though.
Yes, he is.
Nick Chubb.
Because he can run inside, outside. He's like Saquon. He can go over you, around you, through you.
And he might be a little bigger than Saquon.
He might be. And he's a bull. He's been healthy.
Big
he's durable, too. Yeah. He's durable.
Yeah. He might be one of the, he might be
he's
top
one of the,
2,
he's
3.
Top, well, if you talk about top 5, it's Henry, Taylor, Chubb, Saquon, Barkley right now. Chubb and Barkley are the 2 leading the NFL in rushing. It's Chubb and it's Barkley. So they're both in the top 5.
Besides those 3 or 4 that you just named.
The kid for
Eckler?
Eckler.
Yeah,
Eckler.
Although last week was his first bust out, I feel like.
Well, because everybody's keen on him.
Yeah.
He's their number 1 weapon. Because Keenan Allen's out. So that's hurting them a little bit because their number 1 is out. They've got other weapons, but he's their number 1. Look, when you lose your number 1, everything. It's a receiver in that regard is just as important because you have a great number 1, everything changes. You lose that number 1, everything changes. Okay, so it's they don't have Keenan Allen, that hurts them. He's 10 catches a game. You can't just drop. It's like taking Cooper Kupp off the fucking.
Right.
You take him away from them, they're going to be fucking pissing themselves. So I mean, the bottom line.
Imagine being the Giants.
Yeah.
And having.
Well, here's the other thing.
Slayton.
But the thing is, he had a very good game last week. But that was really. Let's see what he does, because the thing is, 1's a fluke, 2's a trend. 2's a trend. And by the way, that secondary sucks, and he should have a big day on Sunday. The Ravens' defense is nowhere near as good as the Packers' defense. I don't care what anyone says.
Statement.
Okay, I don't care what anyone says. And he had a good game against them. He should light these guys up. And if I'm New York, and Dayball I think is here's the thing. I think New York's going to come out and throw because they're going to put 8 in the box and say this guy can't beat us. Because that's what Baltimore is going to do. They're going to be like, this motherfucker ain't beating us. We're going to put 8 in the box, and we're going to make sure he doesn't get off the line clean. And he's going to have to throw.
He's going to be like dime.
Well, if this Slayton kid, I tell you that, this secondary he can kill. This is not a good secondary. He should light them up. If he could do that to Green Bay, what can he do to these guys?
Yeah.
And by the way, he's going to get his targets because they're going to load up on the box on Saquon because they know if they're able to run on them, they're fucked. Yeah. They're fucked. They're absolutely fucked. So they have to stop the run. And what Danny Dimes has to do is he's got to keep him honest. And by the way, this is probably the first time he's really going to have to do this because they are going to load up on the run after what they are going to load up on the run. So anyway, those are what I think about those games this week.
Let me ask you about another game that I'm interested in.
Go ahead.
Packers, Jets.
Yeah.
Jets going to Lambeau. I want the Jets to win that game.
Well, I think everybody wants the Jets to win that game. I hate the Jets, and I want them to win that game. But I might hate Aaron Rodgers more. But the thing about the Jets is this. That coach is a lot like Dayball in that he's got them believing. They've got some, unlike the Jets don't have as good a running game as the Giants, but they've got better weapons in the passing game right now. And they know how to use them. Okay? And that
quarterback. They got a ton of talent on defense.
Yeah, their defense is underrated. And I have a feeling if they win Sunday, it's not going to be underrated anymore because they have to go into Lambeau and shut that guy down. And I think they actually can do it.
Jets have a lot of number 1 draft picks all over that team.
They have drafted very well the last 3 years.
They
got a lot of talent.
Defense,
they got a lot of talent. Picks. Yeah, they got a lot of talent on their roster. They got good wideouts. They got 2 running backs, and that quarterback is starting to look like the number 2 pick in the draft. He is.
I'd like to watch that game this weekend.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many good ones. We don't have 2 TVs.
I know. I wonder if DJ's around.
He's going to be there tomorrow night, I think. We'll have to brainwash him. DJ will smoke all day. Come on. He can't smoke with his kid now. That sucks. Or no, he can. He has, right? He has. He smoked with us the other day, right? Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're on camera. Look, don't criticize Yoda and don't criticize Joe.
So you like the Jets in that game?
I don't know.
I got a bad feeling. I think
I only because they're at home and they just lost.
And they're pissed.
I have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to pull one out of his you-know-where. Listen, it's going to be close. This is going to be a close game. They're not going to run away and hide from the Jets. They're not. They're not. They're going to win this game. I think it's going to be Green Bay. I think it's going to be in the fourth quarter. It's going to be late. It's going to be a 1-score game. I think the Jets are going to stay with them. And I think the Jets are going to have a chance to win this game. But something's going to go wrong. I just have a feeling something's going to go wrong. And I don't even know if it might be the Jets' fault. Something's going to go wrong. But it's going to be close. That's what I think. Also, real quick, we have not covered this. Hold on, if I can get my computer to work. Because I was just looking at this. I hate when it does that.
What were you looking at?
I was looking at... No, not that. Here it is. Wait, not you. Just did that. Here we go. Real quick. You've got some Cincinnati at New Orleans. Minnesota at Miami. Arizona at Seattle. That's for first place. Buffalo at Kansas City.
That's the game of the week.
That's the game of the week.
Is that the Sunday night game?
No, no. Philadelphia.
4 o'clock game.
Philadelphia and Dallas.
That might be the game of the week.
This is what I love about the NFL. Okay, they fuck a lot of things up, but when they get something right, I mean, they hit it out of the fucking park. Okay?
Well, it's so great when there's so many good teams.
That's the thing, and there's a lot of different styles, there's a lot of talent, and these last two. I mean, I'm more excited to see these two games than I am to watch the Patriots. I can't remember the last time I said that. And the Patriots need to win this game, and I'm excited to see if they can make this 2 in a row because there's some encouraging things going on with that Patriots team, particularly the offense. So I'm excited to see that. But these two back-to-back, holy shit. It was like, holy shit. You got the 2 of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league going at it, and they're both on their game. And this is a rematch last year, that unbelievable playoff game. Remember that playoff game? How can you forget that? That was an epic playoff game. Well, this is a rematch of that. And then you got Dallas going into Philly with that defense against that offensive line. If you listen, I have this. I love hitting. I love to hit. I love to be hit. I love it. It's weird. But the thing is, if you like hitting, these two are gonna. This is gonna be one of these. Like you're gonna hear the hits. You're gonna hear the hits in that game from wherever you're watching it. This is going to be physical. It's going to be mean. They don't like each other. This is going to be very, very interesting, that game. So, and Buffalo is licking their wounds from they let that one get away last year when Tyreek went 90 yards in 6, whatever the hell he did in 6 seconds, or 60 yards in 5 seconds, whatever the fuck it was, to send that thing into overtime. So Buffalo is looking for some payback. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a lot of fun Sunday
And then you
afternoon.
got Micah Parsons chasing Jalen
This
Hurts
thing,
around.
Micah Parsons and Jalen Hurts, and they're saying
He might be the equalizer.
They're
for
starting to
Jalen.
say this. They're starting to say this. And when you look at his numbers, they're not wrong. He might be the second coming of LT. He might be, okay? Because he's not. I'm not saying he's as good as LT. Let's not go there. The kid's in the second year. LT did it for 12 years.
I haven't
okay,
really
at the
gotten
highest
to
level.
see-
But
when they played the Giants, he didn't rack up the stat board.
well, he was double teamed.
Right. That didn't mean he didn't impact the game.
No, he did because the other guy was one-on-one,
exactly.
and he cleaned up. That's how he impacts. That's like Aaron
Was it
Donald.
Dexter Lawrence got all the sacks?
Yeah, if you have to, I said this earlier. If the opponent is dedicating 2 men to you on every single play, you're not good. You're fucking elite. Because that's 2 guys out of your offense. You're going, just you 2, nothing else. Go get him. Go get him. Get him away from the
Push
play.
him,
I don't
push
care
him
what you got to
away.
do. I don't care. Tell him a joke. Entertain him. Just buy him. I don't buy him an ice cream. Anything. Don't let him near the play. You too means you know what that means. They're going to play 10 on 9, okay, and they're going to be at a disadvantage. 10 on 9. That's how good that guy is. We're going to go. You know, we're going to bet our 9 can beat your 10 if we can take him out. That's dominance, ladies. That's what LT was, okay. That's what Reggie White was, Bruce Smith, all these guys now. But Aaron Donald, that's who this Micah Parsons is. Micah, not Mika.
Was your brother?
Yeah, Micah.
You know what I think he's getting it confused with? Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
On
Oh, it's an
the
honest
Steelers.
mistake. Yeah.
Minka versus Micah.
Micah. It's confusing. Very confusing. I understand. So
awesome weekend.
Awesome
Who do you think
weekend.
wins those games?
I've got Buffalo in a redemption game, and I've got Philly because they're at home. If that game were in Dallas, I would pick Dallas. I think they're both going to be tight.
In Philly.
I think they're both good enough to stay with each other. I'd be shocked if one team ran away from the other in either of those games. I think it's going to be back and forth. They're going to be physical. I'll tell you, that Dallas-Philly game up front, you want to see hitting, you're going to see some hitting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I would have picked those
That
games
Philly
too.
line is going to finally, and people are saying it. I think people in the know that know football know how good Philly's line is. I think the country's going to find out how good Philly's offensive line is. But the thing is,
Have they faced the
but
D-line?
they have
like
not faced a
Dallas's?
D-line like this. And Micah, to his point, might be the difference because he's probably one of the few guys that can run down or run with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He's one of the few guys who can do it. Jalen Hurts is having an MVP season, by the way. He's been amazing.
I think I'm going to pick
So-
Dallas in that game.
Okay.
But I, too, like the Bills.
Yeah,
I
the
think
Bills.
currently they're better than...
I think they're well. Bill, here's the thing: the Bills' defense is better than KC's
Yeah,
defense. They are.
I think
They
the
really
Bills
are.
overall are a
And-
better team right now.
yeah.
Now, at the end of the year, that's always when Kansas City is
They peak.
playing better.
Yeah, usually.
So if they were to meet again in the playoffs, I might see it differently.
Well, that might depend on where the game is played.
That's true.
So and if
That's
it's
true.
in Buffalo, I got Buffalo. But the point is, these 4 teams rather, are not going to run away from each other unless it's a turnover fest, which I don't think that's going to happen. Because the other thing these teams do is they take.
I
they
could
take
see Philly running away.
Well, if Dallas can't stop the run, yeah.
'Cause I'm picking Dallas, but that's the one game where I could see if Dallas isn't careful, they will not be able to score with Philly.
Not with their backup. No.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No. He can't. He will not win a shootout with Jalen Hurts.
He needs their defense to keep them to 17.
And Dallas has got to help them. Dallas got to run the ball. Yeah. Philly's got a very good. They got to run at Philly. Listen, this is literally a smash mouth football game.
Yeah,
it's going to be won at the line of scrimmage. And if you love football, you're going to be looking. You're going to be looking at the 5 against the 4 and what's going on. You're going to be looking at that because that's going to tell you who's going to win the game. So they're going to be a lot of fun. Real quick before we get off this segment, it's 45 minutes. College football this weekend, not 1, not 2, 3 games with 6 undefeated teams. Think about that for a minute, okay? I can't wait for this 12-team playoff. I want them to fucking get it in now. I don't want to wait.
It's kind of annoying.
It's killing me because it's right there. It's
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years is too long. And the first year, you're right though. You made sense of that about having to get all that scheduled, the sites. That I get. But they were talking about the first round, the home team, you have an advantage, and they go to neutral sites after that.
I like that.
Because then you get a chance to take advantage of that high seeding because you earned it. But then after that, it's neutral sites. If they do that, that'll be awesome. I don't want Alabama playing 3 playoff games in Alabama.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's just give them the fucking trophy. Or Georgia playing 3 games in Georgia.
I like how you said if the first round is at the
because that gives it the high seed has the advantage.
Then you bounce to the big bowl arena.
Yeah, and then you go for that'll be fun. Yeah. Because then I think it's an even. Now it's okay. Yeah. Okay. But Alabama.
We're going to the second round against.
Yeah, Alabama isn't 10 points better at home. Alabama is 30 points better at home. And so is Georgia, and so is Ohio State, and so is USC.
So is Alabama's quarterback playing?
He's been practicing.
Who is it, Bryce Young?
It's Bryce Young. He's a game time. He's practicing though. So he's questionable right now.
Okay, so
he might play.
The game is based on that, right?
Well, they're playing Listen, if you have not been seeing, and this is where you got to start watching, Tennessee is legit. The Volunteers are going to surprise some people on Saturday. They are legitimately the number 6 team in the country. They might be higher. They are good, okay? This is going to be a real test for Alabama. Whether Jalen Hurts doesn't play or does play, this is going to be a test for them.
But I'm saying, not Jalen Hurts.
No,
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
But my thing is, if Bryce Young doesn't play, does that solidify Alabama losing or not necessarily?
Yes, because Tennessee will beat them if he doesn't play.
Yeah. So it all hinges on that.
Yeah, I mean,
if he does, they should win.
So here's the thing. So you've got that one at 3:30. You've got number 8 Oklahoma State undefeated at number 13 TCU, who just went in and beat undefeated Kansas at Kansas, and what was a hell of a football game, by the way. And then you've got
USC.
Yeah, Utah and USC are playing 8 o'clock. By the way,
they're both ranked, right?
Yeah, number 15 UNC, who's 5-1, who just lost at Clemson on by 1 touchdown, is playing undefeated number 18 ranked Syracuse at Syracuse. So Syracuse is 5-0, and no one's talking about
who?
NC State. Who's 15, and they're 5-1.
2 teams that are never in the top 25.
Well, basketball.
Right.
Wrong sport. Yeah.
But at least in the past, 20 years?
20 years, they have not been. Either one has been really good. No. I think NC State had 1 or 2 years where they were, but not other than that, no.
Really? In the past 20?
Yeah, 1 or 2 where they were pretty good. Well, I say pretty good, they won 8 games.
Okay.
8, maybe 9. But they were not a contender. They were good.
So that's kind of cool to see 2 of those teams.
Yeah, and then, by the way, JMU making their top 25 debut. Now, here's the thing.
Better win.
They're playing Georgia Southern. They're at Georgia Southern. That game is at 4 o'clock. You better have a T-shirt. All right, borrow from DJ. Okay, and look, this is new for JMU. I am very excited to see how they handle this because look, once you get a ranking on your back, the bullseye goes from this to this.
Right, but in their previous 1AA or whatever
they were good. They were good.
Perennially
good. They were good. They were. Yeah, but this is a new level.
No, but I'm saying in terms of like they were always towards the top and having to deal with that kind of spotlight.
It was just on a much
it
smaller
weren't Division
scale.
I, so it was
much smaller scale.
Yeah.
Now, ESPN's talking about them like all the time. Okay, so
that's true.
Yeah.
When you're on ESPN, they're breaking you down. They're like,
you're one. You've made
this guy's got bad technique.
Yeah, you've made it though. Because if you're there, that means you're a story.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I mean, and then this you got USC. Who's the other one? USC. Oh, by the way, number 16 Mississippi State at number 22 Kentucky. That's going to be a Donny. USC is at number 20 Utah, who is 5-1, and their one loss was at Oregon. So. When Oregon was actually starting to look like Oregon. By the way, no one's even talking about Oregon. Oregon, since that drubbing to Ohio State or the Georgia, they're crushing people. They've been crushing people. So
Didn't they have a really bad loss?
that was at Georgia. Georgia destroyed them. It was like 55-5,
But
whatever.
Oregon they got
have
beat
one
early
loss.
in the season, didn't
That
they?
was the first game. It was to Georgia. They went down to the. Now, to be fair, they played in the Georgia Dome. So basically, that was a home game for Georgia. I mean, you're already the defending national champion. They put you in the home, the state stadium, where everybody who loves you can go. So that was a hell of an advantage, and Georgia took advantage of it. So, I mean, could they beat them on a neutral field? I don't know. But Georgia's the better team by far. So in any event, at least they were that day. So. And that Utah-USC game is at 8 o'clock. USC, 7th ranked, undefeated, one of the best offenses in the country. In the country. You need to see them. You do, because I honestly think, I know, because
You've been talking about them for a while.
they can score with anybody. And I mean anybody. They got dogs on it. I don't know. The question mark, and I don't know.
Dogs.
They got dogs, okay? These guys, they ain't puppies. These ain't puppies. These are like Rottweilers. These are like German Shepherds.
not puppy dogs.
They ain't no puppy dog, all right? So they are a must-see on offense. I don't know how good their defense is yet because they're going to get a good test. Utah's a good offense. This will be a good test for them. So, I mean,
Utes.
the Utes, who look at their one loss is at Oregon, whose only loss is at Georgia. So, I mean, these are going to be a lot of good games, on Saturday. So get your football on. And quietly, LSU, who hasn't lost since their opener, they're playing at Florida, who's 4-2. That's actually a very good. That's how you know how good the SEC is. Florida and LSU, who are both perennial powers, as have been, they're 4-2. No one's talking about them. They're playing each other, and that's a big game. That's
Who's
a big
Florida
game.
State playing? Is that Clemson?
Florida State is hosting Clemson. Florida State's kind of
Florida
fallen
State
off.
good or no?
Well, they were 4-0. Now they're 4-2. So they lost. They were on the road. They beat LSU at LSU to start the season. But I mean, they've kind of fallen off a little bit here. I don't know if it's injuries. Well, they lost it. No, all right. Let's be fair. The 2 losses Florida State has. They lost to number 22 Wake Forest, who only has 1 loss. That's to Clemson. They lost to them by 10. And then they lost to number 14 UNC, who they were undefeated at the time. They lost to them by 2, and that was at UNC at NC State. So they've lost to 2 ranked teams, and they were in both games.
And who have they beaten?
They beat Duquesne, they beat LSU, they beat Louisville, and they crushed Boston College, who, by the way, has won 2 in a row. So they're 2-3. But take it for what it's worth. So they crushed BC 44-14. They won at Louisville. Tough place to play. They won 30-31.
Louisville good this year?
They're like 3-3.
They're ACC, right?
Yeah, they're all in the ACC. Louisville currently, they put up 31 points in that game. Louisville's 3-3. They lost to Syracuse, undefeated. They lost at Florida State. They lost at BC by a point.
Syracuse. That's wild.
Syracuse, I'm excited to see the
Donovan McNabb.
That's the last
Right?
time. That's the last time they were really legitimately good. Was Donovan McNabb.
I definitely wasn't
So
watching that.
yeah. So
Basketball now?
Yeah. Lastly, well, by the way,
I have a basketball thing too.
okay, that's fine. Lastly, real quick, Devante Adams, you stupid motherfucker. Before we go to basketball, Devante Adams, you stupid motherfucker. I know the tape, but I understand. I've had whiplash. I know it can do that. Yeah, you're going to get charged, and you're going to be paying a hefty penalty to stay out of jail, because that's assault.
You really think it's going to be that harsh?
ESPN has lawyered up. And if ESPN's lawyering up, that means that they got him. Look at.
But if you're Devante, don't you just go to the guy and say, dude, how much?
He apologized publicly before he found that he was charged. So I think he was genuinely sorry.
I think he was too.
Yeah, I don't
He had a
think
bad moment.
Devante Adams has no record.
He had a really bad
he had a
moment.
bad moment, and it was one mistake.
He acted like a
I'm not
bad
going to
boy.
cruise. It was a stupid thing to do, but it was the one thing he's ever done. He's got a clean. He's never done anything wrong before.
But don't you think he can go to this guy and say, look, can I give you some money?
But that's what's going to happen.
You know, like, and not even front about it. Say, look, I messed up. I shouldn't have done it.
I think
Can
what's
I-
going to
can-
help
can I
him is
give
that
you
he got that
money?
apology out before that charge came down. At least before.
He said it that night in his first interview.
Yeah,
He
before-
goes, it was like before
Yeah.
we even saw the clip.
Yeah, he apologized. He hopes he sees this. He didn't mean to do. He was wrong. It was he took responsibility.
Yeah, he knew it was.
He knew it was wrong.
Did it out of frustration.
And but the thing is, what they're going to say in his defense is, look, he put that out there before he knew he was even being charged.
Well, he knew.
So did he?
He knew though.
Did he?
I
Kind of sounded like he was shocked when he heard it.
really.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of say I was a little shocked that you're telling me the guy had a concussion. I did not think the push was that violent.
If you have whiplash, You
I
can
understand.
easily get a concussion from whiplash.
I understand.
Because your brain's moving.
But when I looked at that, I wasn't like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because it looks...
It looks harmless.
Yeah.
Not harmless.
I mean, when, you know...
It looked like, damn, why'd he do that? But at the same time, it wasn't like, is that guy okay?
Yeah. No,
I was like,
he wasn't dead.
Right.
But he was woozy. When he got up, they were like, they had a hold of... Yeah, he was woozy. Yeah.
Imagine if he was just acting.
He got up and he was starting to walk, and they were like, he was having a hard time.
Imagine if he was that intelligent to be like, all right, act like you're hurt.
Well, that's the thing about what Stephen A. Smith said.
Is that what Stephen A. was saying?
Well, I didn't hear him mention the guy's name. And he works for ESPN.
I hope not. No reason to.
He just made this statement, which I thought was totally unnecessary, because that is the oldest one in the book. If you've got money, be careful, because people will do... Yes, that's been known forever. This isn't a new... Stephen A. Smith didn't drop a holy nugget on the world. Okay? You think professional... I know for a fact that professional athletes get talked about. They have a class on when they get... every of the major sports does this, educating them on how to take care of their money and what to look for and to be careful of. This is nothing they don't know. So for Stephen A. Smith to say that like they never knew, like, oh my God, he just discovered fire. The way he came off, I'm like... And then he never did anything to clear this guy. He didn't say his name, but he kind of alluded to.
But like, this isn't a situation. This guy was just running across the aisle.
He was getting up.
Right, he was trying to get across the aisle.
He looked up and bang. Okay, it wasn't like he spotted him in the crowd.
No.
He walked over and.
This was a completely coincidental meeting.
Yes.
Now, true, he could try to take advantage of that after the fact, but
if you got whiplash, and I've had whiplash.
It didn't seem that violent to me.
Yeah, because you've never felt it. You've never had whiplash, so you don't even know what triggers that. Okay, or two.
I mean, I've gotten dropped before.
Did you get whiplash?
No.
Okay,
but that's what I'm saying. I've been sent to the ground much harder than that.
You didn't get whiplash.
I know.
Did you get a concussion?
No. I mean, maybe.
I'm saying if you didn't got none of those things, couldn't have been that hard.
Dude, I've gotten jumped by multiple people.
There was 8 of them.
I'm not.
They all had guns, and I had a toothpick.
Didn't say that.
Actually, no, I had a pink.
Pink
sword.
I've gotten stomped out. On a bar stage by at least 6 people, and my eye looked. I probably had a concussion, but I never.
Oh, if you got kicked in the head, you had a concussion.
Yeah,
you did. You had at least a concussion. Okay, because you get kicked in the head, you get a concussion.
But
guarantee it.
I guess I've never like fallen and thought it was that serious. To your point, though, you fall a certain way at a certain angle. If your head snaps back, that's all it takes.
You can sleep wrong and wake up and feel like you got hit by a truck.
Yeah,
and you just slept wrong. So to say when you know that's happened, because we both felt that,
you've got to give that guy the benefit of the doubt that he is hurt.
He's hurt. Well, look, they took him to the doctors. ESPN, he works for ESPN.
Yeah,
ESPN is the one who's going, you're pressing charges.
Yeah.
Because ESPN, by the way, ESPN's medical, they're insured. They're paying for this.
Yeah,
they're paying for it. You're charged. Fuck that. No, he's not getting away with this. No.
But
and by the way, every big corporation would do that.
Sure.
Every damn one of them, and they'd be in the right to do it.
They
They'd be in the right to do it because they got to protect their employee.
Right.
Their employees in the hospital, whiplash, they're filing charges, and it's right there on camera.
So that was a sound person, wasn't it? It looked like he had one of those.
He was getting up and he was
mics.
holding. Yeah, he had no. He couldn't even.
You know those sound mics that like get the sound from across.
He was picking it up and he was going. He looks up and here comes Devante Adams.
I wonder if Devante Adams had a flashback to being on the field and Hunter Renfrow being in front of him, and that's what. He was in a fit of rage because he just ran into Hunter Renfrow.
He was clearly in a
He's
blind.
Like, what the? This guy's running into me too.
He was clearly in a blind rage.
He was.
Because look, to be fair, he doesn't have a track record for this. So look, everybody gets one with me, and I'm sure his lawyers will say, look, he sent out that apology. He didn't. He knows he was wrong.
I could see.
What are we gonna do here?
I could see being him in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
you're just pissed off and you're just like, get out of here. Like,
we've all done things.
Get out of my way.
We've all done things we regret. I'm no different than anybody. I've done it too. And if it's something I remember smashing a sink because my son threw a piece of chalk at me, and he hit me in the eye and it cut me. It was one of these big chalk things. Get whipped in the eye with one of those, by the way. That'll cut you.
Chalk things.
The ones that are in there that you use on the driveway, the big thick ones.
Yeah.
He threw it at me.
And it cut your eye?
Hit me right there. And I saw blood, and I couldn't hit him. So I went in the bathroom.
How old was he?
This was right before. He was 4. It was an accident. He didn't mean to do it, but he picked it up and he just threw it. He didn't
I
know
think
it.
he meant to do it.
I wouldn't blame him. But anyway, so I go in the because you know how you feel blood, but then you go. I saw it, and I was I just couldn't. And I broke the sink. I broke it in 4 pieces.
So did you tell everybody that you got in a fight?
No, Becky came home and saw the sink and what? And then she saw my eye. What the? It was like
Somebody slammed my face into the sink.
No, it was, yeah.
There was 4 of them.
There was 4 of them.
They invaded the house.
So
I fought them off.
yeah, it was.
All right, so Devante.
All right, one
Just
time.
pay the guy.
And
Just
move
pay
on.
the guy.
Draymond Green. I don't want to hear. And look,
Trey.
the guys that are coming out, and this is where I do agree with Stephen A. Smith, the guys that are coming out and saying stuff about him when they have histories themselves of doing stupid stuff like this, shut the fuck up. I don't know who you are, but Stephen A. Smith.
What was Stephen A. talking about? The soup somebody threw on a coach?
Yeah, that happened. It was, I forget who it
was it?
I forget who he was, but I remember the story. And yeah, he's the one. He's one of them. He's not the only one, but he's one of them who came out, with this whole high morality. Stop it. Just shut the fuck up. Stephen A. Smith's right about that. Here's where the Golden State Warriors are wrong. Marcus Spears, I applaud him and Jeff Saturday because they got asked this question on SportsCenter, and they said what every athlete would have said. Because if where we come from, this isn't one neighborhood. Every neighborhood in America, it's America. America's like this. You pull this shit in your neighborhood, you're gonna be fighting every damn day. Every damn day. If it's on an athletic team, you'll be fighting every damn day. This is not going to get resolved with a handshake and a press conference. No, it's not. No, it is not. This is not going to end. And I got news for you. Now that everybody saw that punch,
Draymond's got to go, right?
they got to trade him.
He's got to go.
He's got to go. They're never going to fix that.
I
don't
think
wanna
it's
hear
really
it.
it's
I
really
looked
weak
at
that they haven't suspended him.
Steve, that's beyond weak because of the ring ceremony. You want to send a statement?
Yeah, he's not going.
That he's not going to it. You want to send a
Exactly.
statement? That's the fucking statement. Not, well, we want him for the ring ceremony because the ring. Fuck that.
Dude,
Fuck him.
You know what it tells me? To me, it makes me think that everybody on the team hates Jordan Poole.
Steve
Everybody
Kerr,
must think he's an annoying a-hole.
There are so many pictures of him hugging Draymond Green, coming out and hugging him on the court.
But don't you? But like the way they're treating it is as if no one likes Jordan Poole and he got what he had coming to him. Because what?
I don't know.
When we talk about how the
don't
NFL
know.
has to press charges against Devante Adams,
Yeah.
I feel like the NBA and the Warriors have to protect Jordan Poole. Not saying they have to press charges, but suspend him without pay. Suspend him 10 games.
Well, they are fining him, but that's not enough.
No. You got to fine him through games he's not allowed to play in.
Exactly.
Or you've got to get him off the team.
This crap about, and look, Steve Kerr's going to sing because Michael Jordan punched him many years ago. And
This is different.
Steve Kerr looks like an annoying little fuck. I'd punch him too.
But that's my point about Jordan Poole. Maybe
that got settled in house. People found out after the fact when the books were written that
was
Jordan.
never a video.
Never a video. No one saw it. No one knows the extent of it. But Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr, and that Chicago Bulls team.
Right. It was a story that's glorified.
It's glorified because Jordan went on. They won the championship,
Right.
and Steve Kerr hit a game-winning shot to his credit.
And Steve Kerr punch him back or no?
I don't know, but we don't know the whole story. So they got into an argument. Jordan hauled off and hit him.
Just hit it. I think it was one punch.
And it was one punch. And from what
Which I think is kind of weak.
and Jordan's much bigger than him.
Right.
And
you punching Steve Kerr.
So the thing is,
He didn't punch
Michael
Scotty.
Jordan's Michael Jordan.
He didn't punch Scotty or Horace Grant.
Or Dennis Rodman.
No, he
Or
didn't.
Robert Parrish.
Right.
Robert Parrish was a 7th. He
Right.
looked at Robert
Right.
Parrish one day. Robert Parrish basically told him what to go do with himself in front of the whole team. And Michael Jordan, from what I'm told, never spoke to Robert Parrish again that season. And they won a
He
championship.
didn't punch Charles Oakley.
He didn't go, no. There were guys he knew who to punch.
Right.
Put it that way.
That's kind of weak.
But, yeah, it is. But he's Michael Jordan.
Sure.
He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
He's earned some grace.
He's earned some grace. And Steve Kerr apparently is okay with it. So Steve Kerr is leaning on that. Problem is, Steve, that video's out there. And Michael Jordan had never done that. At least they never hit a teammate before. From what I was, that's the first time he actually ever hit somebody. Draymond Green has hit a teammate before.
But also
in 2016, and he's had several. Draymond Green has a track record. Let's be honest here.
He's a jerk.
This is not a surprise to anyone who watches Draymond Green. If it is, your head's been up your ass for the last 12 years.
But also, RJ, freaking, he laid him out.
He laid him out. He sucker punched him. Everybody's like, well, his hands were down. If your hands are down, and again, he pushed him because, you know why he pushed him? Because Draymond got in his face like this. So he said, get off me. And as soon as he did that and put his hands down, then Draymond did that.
I know, but you know what they always say.
You don't put your hands down, number one.
Right, right. It's kind of like.
But that's probably because he didn't think he was going to hit him.
No, yeah. But it's like if you're talking shit back and forth to somebody.
Well, that's the thing. This is the problem. We don't know what was said between them.
Right.
Now,
but maybe must have said something. Well, they
were barking at each other about I don't know what because there's no volume on that video,
and that's why I don't know how much true it was suckerish in that they didn't both square up. Like, Draymond could have went and squared up to him.
No, he didn't.
Instead,
which is kind of a weasel thing. He waited for his hands to drop and then he did it.
Right,
which tells you something about him.
Well, so it's like that's something you do.
And he's bigger.
That's
he's bigger than him.
You do if you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
If somebody's threatening you and you're like, all right, I'm going to hit you while your hands are down.
Yeah.
If you're having an argument with a teammate.
Who's backing up. He's backing up.
And a teammate.
Yeah, you don't do that.
If you want to fight him, put your hands up and say, look, we're going to fight and settle this.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't knock him out.
No. That was a sucker punch.
I mean.
He waited till he dropped his hands and Poole's thinking we're not going to fight. He just tried to get him out, and then bang, he's out. Yeah. And by the way, Jordan Poole's family saw that.
That's what sucks.
And Draymond Green's family saw that, and guess where they're going to be on ring night? Right in the same fucking row. That's going to be an interesting chat, don't you think, boys and girls?
Imagine working in a place where a coworker of yours knocked you out. Maybe not completely unconscious, but buckled your knees.
Yeah.
With a straight right to the freaking cheek.
Yep.
And that guy's at the ring ceremony with you. And basically got to go on vacation for 8 days.
The next time I saw that guy, we'd be fighting.
We'd fight again.
We'd be fighting again. There would be no words.
Right.
We'd be fighting again. And it doesn't matter where I see him. Men's room, the cafeteria, we're fighting again. He's going over a table. Not even. Let me talk. I'm not going to go to HR.
And I'm not squaring up on him.
Yeah, I'm not going to HR. No, I'll take care
and I'm not squaring up on him either.
Yeah. And if they fire him, I'm going to go to his house. Okay. I'm like, this is no. I mean, no way. But I mean, the bottom line is, this is not fixable.
Yeah.
It's not fixable. Because the problem is the whole world knows it and all their opponents know it. You think that's not going to come up? Every opponent's going to use this. Every time they get this is not going to end well in Golden State. The best move is to trade him and to do it as fast as you possibly fucking can, because this is not going to fix itself.
Has there been
This isn't one of those where it's going to This isn't one of those where it's going to galvanize the troops. This is not one of those. Okay, this is non-fixable.
Has there been any speculation on where he could get traded?
If Golden State is smart, they trade him to a weather station in Siberia. But the bottom line is, you don't trade him to a contender.
Right, but
and contenders are going to come knocking.
Has there been any speculation?
I would almost give him away to the worst team in the league.
The worst team doesn't want that, though.
I know, but
actually, nobody might want it now.
No, the Lakers would do it. The Lakers are fucking shameless.
Oh God,
the Lakers would do it. The Lakers in a fucking heartbeat would do this. Are you kidding me? In a fucking heartbeat.
That would be stupid.
They would do it in a fucking heartbeat. And there's already talk about he's a free agent this season. He's going to go be a Laker anyway. He wants to be a Laker.
Really?
Yep. The Lakers would do this in a heartbeat. And Golden State better not be dumb enough to oblige them, because that would be the worst thing you could do.
No,
don't reward this guy.
If you could fleece them, though.
Don't you?
If you could fleece them, but who do the Lakers have?
LeBron.
But I mean,
Anthony
to trade.
Davis.
To trade.
I don't know. What would you want from them?
Anthony
Davis.
They couldn't trade him.
You want him? Fine, I want Anthony Davis.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Then
he's got three more. He's got 3 more rings than Anthony Davis.
The Lakers, yeah, but
he's durable. Anthony Davis is not.
But talent-wise, nowhere close.
Yeah, but he's never on the floor.
That's true. But I mean, Anthony Davis doesn't knock out teammates.
Mr. Single Triple is always available. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. No, he doesn't knock out teammates. But the bottom line is, he should be suspended. He needs to be traded. Part of me hopes it doesn't happen, because I want to watch this implosion from afar. I mean, because
I don't think anybody's going to take it.
I saw Steve Kerr's press conference today. It made me want to throw up. I'm like, you're not comparing Draymond Green to Michael Jordan, I hope. You better not be doing that. And it's sad. He didn't say that, but he said that.
What did he say?
We're going to handle it in-house. He's going to be fine, not suspended. Only Michael Jordan could have gotten away with this. Because he did.
He said only Michael Jordan.
In fact, Michael Jordan, no, he didn't say that, but Michael Jordan knocked Steve Kerr and got away with it. No fine, no suspension.
I don't think he
knocked
nothing. Steve Kerr out.
But he knocked him. He hit him.
He hit him.
No fine.
This is worse.
No suspension. know anything.
Yeah,
know his
that's
name.
bullshit.
This came out years after the fact. I
became
mean,
this fun
and
story to tell.
they glorified it because they
One day we were in practice,
Yeah.
and man, they were going at it.
And then Steve Kerr looks like the bigger man because
Right.
we're teammates. No, he's Michael Jordan.
He's like, look, I
And
wasn't
if you
happy
don't
about
and
it.
if you don't forgive Steve Kerr, you're not going to be on that team.
Exactly.
So this is about Steve Kerr being the bigger man. It's about Steve Kerr going, that's Michael Jordan and I'm not. Because that's what it
And
was.
I'm going to fall in line because
Fall in line because
I want to be
that's
successful.
Michael Jordan and I'm not. And they're not going to choose me over him.
Right.
No fucking way.
And because of Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr got to hit the game-winning shot in a championship.
He's got rings because of Michael
Right.
Jordan. Not
So-
the other way around.
So,
Not the other way around.
yeah.
Okay?
So this is
So,
completely different situation.
I'm saying, but he's talking about it.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like, are you
Ridiculous.
kidding me? Draymond Green cost you 2 games in the finals last year because of how bad he was. Okay? And if the Celtics didn't pee down their leg, they would have beat you. So the bottom line is, he's not. You lose him when you have Weissman, all the other guys, and you've got what's his name now, Wiggins. You don't need. You can win without Draymond Green.
Yeah.
You need him.
And
So,
and the thing is, the way the Warriors portray themselves
This is the other thing.
completely transparent.
We're the
this
state-of-the-art
like they're this
guiding light.
open organization.
Guiding light.
Steve Kerr talks about
Yeah.
political issues.
Guiding light.
He talks about moral issues in society. You know, he'll talk about women's rights, Black Lives Matter. Like
yeah. They're the
real shit.
franchise that you want your franchise
Right.
to be like.
But
That's how they act.
But why are they not being honest about it? They just don't.
Because they're not who they think they.
It
they
doesn't
say they
feel
are.
like they're being honest about it.
Draymond Green is not. You can replace 8, 6, and 9. Those are his numbers. You can replace 8, 6, and 9. Okay. And I don't want to hear about he does the dirty work and also the crowd. In the NBA, you can't even
get
be
role
dirty
players.
anymore.
You can get role.
You can get role players. You can find another thug. They're out there.
You could actually probably find a more athletic role player.
Probably, at this point, yeah. So, and what Golden State's
Not
doing
to
here,
take away from-
what
I mean,
Golden
Draymond
State
is
is
talented.
doing here is shameless, and it's
weak.
it's hypocrisy.
It's weak, yeah.
And I hope it blows up in their face, and I have a feeling it will. Okay.
All right, I have a basketball take.
Go ahead.
Before I came down,
Yeah.
I have YouTube TV so I can get some live sports.
Yeah.
ESPN was playing Nets Bucks,
Yeah. I was watching it.
and it was actually pretty decent basketball from what I saw.
They were playing. They decided to play tonight.
But here's what, kind of a different take. I don't think many people are saying this, but I kind of want Ben Simmons to have a good year. And I know, like, a lot of people probably despise him, especially in Philly, because it really seemed like he just left them high and dry and said, I'm hurt, I can't play. And it didn't seem like he was hurt. However, he's now talked a lot about mental health and things he was dealing with in his mind. So I'm pulling for the guy. And I think a year ago I kind of thought he was like this softie that didn't want to play, you know.
I'm not
And he was
gonna.
pouting.
I am not going to say that because I watch a guy on the court, I know what he's thinking. I might know what he's thinking in terms of a play, but I don't know what's going on in his head, in his private life. And I'm not going to ever pretend to say that. I have no evidence to refute that he was, that he was not honest about this. It seems like he's gone at great lengths to get a lot of help, to your point. And if that's the case, then I'm glad he did. And if he wasn't in the right state of mind, that would certainly explain some of the shit he did.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
so-
Like, I think everybody
Yeah.
just was like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy needs to go.
Yeah. And if that is the case, then I hope he does well.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want to see the Nets do well because my team is.
I know, and
but
then-
I
right.
hope he has. I hope
Right.
he does. I hope he's all right. I hope he gets the help he's getting. He continues to get it, and he turns his career around because right now he's got a black eye in his career.
Yeah.
And Stephen A. Smith said this today that I found was interesting because he had interviewed the guy, and Stephen A. Smith had some choice words to say.
I heard
But
that.
then when he talked to him, he's like, you know what, we're good. I hope he has a good year.
Remember
So-
when Stephen A. was like, and then he told me he could shoot, and I knew he
That's
was
my lie. I
lying.
knew he was lying, which was funny. But I mean, it was funny.
But I saw him playing tonight, and he actually looked decent.
He's an all-star. He was an all-star.
That
last-
just kind of
Yeah,
disappeared.
he was an all-star 2 years ago. So the guy can play.
I wonder
And
if those
he-
games in the playoffs when he was scared to go to the hole. I wonder if it was a mental, like he was shaming himself for that. And that kind of drove him into a hole.
No one understood how a player of his caliber was doing some of the things he was doing.
Yeah.
Didn't make sense. Which is why he got, because it was like the common sense like escaped him. Like these are things, I mean, he's 6'10".
Right.
He could have gone down that lane and dunked that ball over two people if he wanted to. And
That's
instead
his strength.
That's what he does, go to the hole.
That is literally,
and then he took,
go to the hole, dish, or shoot.
And that was no one understands that one. So, I mean.
But that's why it almost seems like an anxiety.
But again,
thing
if
built
something
up
like
on
that
him.
is going on, which no one knows,
Right.
Can that have that kind of an effect on you? Yes, it
I think
can.
it can.
Yes, it can. You cannot measure a person's mental state or the impact it has on their actions.
Yeah.
Trust me, they spend billions of dollars on research, mental health research. If you look at what the NFL has done just to try to protect these guys' noggins because they're committing suicide later in life, I mean, this is not unknown. I am glad now that it is now brought up and now it's in the public eye and we're more aware of it than we were just even 20 years ago. So, and we need to be because we have to look out for these people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're not. What good are we? You know. So, and if that's what's going on with him, and by all accounts, that's what the evidence points to, then I wish him well. Just when it's not when he plays the Celtics. That's all, and that doesn't make me any different than anybody else. So,
I think it would be nice to see the Nets.
Well, here's the problem. There's still Kyrie Irving is still on that team.
I know,
and that supersedes everything.
I know.
Okay, because Kyrie Irving doesn't deserve a square piss from me or anybody else.
They don't deserve it. I'm
deserve
saying. It would be nice to see a team with 3 legit stars be a contender.
We've seen that before.
I know, but I'm saying the Nets have yet to do it because all three.
They
of
never
them
played
aren't
together.
There. Exactly.
And James Harden, when he was there, they didn't play. They played 7 games together.
That's what I'm saying. I would like to see this team, take Boston to 7 and the Celtics win. Mm-hmm. But I would like to see them finally do something because. They got so much talent. Like
talent's not enough. And I honestly,
I know they've been so
I
bitchy,
have seen too many examples of people who abuse their talent or take it for granted, and so have you. Okay, so to me,
I think I've taken my own talent for granted.
So you certainly have, at least on this show. But anyway, so the bottom line is, you didn't believe that? No, I didn't either.
Dwight Gooden.
Dwight Gooden. No, there's a million examples.
I think Dwight Gooden had addiction issues.
Yeah, killed him.
And if he
ruined his career.
If he had been able to get help early.
Yeah. So I mean, the examples are endless. That's why when I see that, I root for the underdog because I know the guy's already playing with one hand tied behind his back because this guy is a better athlete.
The underdog.
The underdog. So why does everybody love the underdog? That's why. That's number one reason because these guys they're so good, they get so cocky.
Not everybody.
Not all of them, no, but enough of them do.
No, I'm saying a lot of people love the front running.
The front runner, the Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. Woo, yeah. So I mean, that's funny too. It's entertaining.
117.
The shooter McGavin. Well, it's football, baby. Football and basketball. We're closing with basketball. So anyway, yeah, the NBA is back next week. Next week the regular season. We'll do a preview next week. Promise you that. But for now,
Knicks are going to be any good.
Who?
Knicks.
Yes.
You think they're going to be good?
Yes.
Why?
I think they're in the playoffs because
Really?
they added an all-star who's young.
The guy from the Mavs?
Donovan Mitchell is going to have a lot of fun in New York.
No, they didn't add Mitchell.
Who did they get?
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, he went to Cleveland. Oh, then I don't think they're going to be good. They're going to suck.
Fuck you.
They didn't make
Dickhead.
They didn't make the playoffs last year.
They got the guy from the Mavericks. What was his name?
Oh, Brunson.
Yeah, your friend's kid or something?
Yeah, he might. No, my friend. We played against each other. We were adversaries.
Oh, okay.
Respected adversaries, but adversaries. But the bottom line is,
guy from your area,
Rick Brunson, who's from Salem, Mass, who went to Temple, played for John Chaney, and all that shit. Anyway, yeah. So his kid has had a hell of a career in Dallas. Got a big payday to go to New York. Does he make them better?
He's got to make them a little better, right?
He can score. The Knicks' problem wasn't offense. The Knicks' problem was defense. They don't stop anybody. I don't know how good a defensive player he is. I know he's good for 20. Brunson can get you 20 a night. He can. And does that make them better? It gives them another option. So, yeah, on paper it does. How much better does it make them in the East, though? I don't know. They're nowhere. I don't think they're anywhere in the top 5. They're somewhere between 6 and 10. That's where they are, even with that move. If they had gotten Mitchell, who Stephen A. Smith correctly
they would have had to trade.
No, it was too much. It was too
ridiculous.
much. It was too much.
Yeah.
I get that. But I'm saying, had they gotten him, he's a guy that could vault them up a couple of picks.
Sure. I think if you get him without just trashing your team.
Well, Danny Ainge was not going to do that.
Yeah.
He was going to get a boat, and he got a boat. And it was going to be a suitor somewhere. Turned out, was it Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Now, there's a team you might want to watch. They were a playoff team last year, and they just added that kid. And what they gave up?
What did they give up?
They gave up a ton of young talent, but they're a young team anyway. They have
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
and they gave up draft picks.
You only have, what, 12 guys?
15, technically. You have 3 on inactive roster. If injuries,
But they're not trading anybody inactive for Donovan Mitchell.
I'm saying they gave up a slew of picks, first-round picks, and they gave up some good athletes. Are these guys? Is there an all-star in there? I don't know, but they didn't give away a player anywhere near the caliber of Donovan Mitchell.
No,
I'll tell you that right. It was about volume for Ainge, about building. They're going to build another franchise. What he's doing. So he got it. He did. He got it. He took the 2 all-stars, sent one to freaking Minnesota. But Minnesota's going to be tough this year. And
who went to Minnesota?
The big man.
Gobert?
Yeah, Gobert is in. He's with what's his nuts there.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Didn't they get in the wild card yet?
They got the
last
second
year?
round. They lost. Second round, they lost to Memphis. And they added this dude. They added maybe the best defensive center.
Oh, they won in the play-in game.
Yeah,
That's
won.
what it was.
So
I remember the dude jumped up on the table and people were making fun of him.
Beverly.
No, it wasn't Beverly.
Oh, the other dude.
It was can't remember who it was.
I remember who it was. I see his face.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because they hadn't won him since Kevin Garnett was
right.
I get it.
He jumped on the table. People were like, "Dog, it was the play-in
they won the
game."
World Series. It was just like, dude, you just beat the 9th seed. Relax. So I mean, which would make you the 10 seed. So, but anyway, the bottom line is,
That's terrible.
It's terrible, but it's
true.
He
was excited.
So anyway.
Okay, the Cavaliers sent Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen, rookie wing Ochai Agajbi.
Mm-hmm.
Ochai.
This rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It just rolls off the tongue.
Colin Sexton. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Decent young player.
Yeah, solid.
3 unprotected.
Sexton actually made the All-Star team.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
3 unprotected, but not as good as Donovan Mitchell.
No.
3 unprotected first-round picks, 2025, 2027, and 2029, and 2 pick swaps.
So what
in
Ainge,
2026 and 2028.
What Ainge is banking on is that if they do get in the playoffs, they're one and done. Because the thing is, Cleveland's better than they were last year. Are they top 5? Nope, they're not. They're not. They're 6th at best. If Brooklyn doesn't implode, they're 6th. If Brooklyn does, they're 5th. They're not better than Miami.
Who's 5th?
Brooklyn is 5th in the East right now.
Well, who are you saying is 6th then?
I'm saying Cleveland is 6th at best.
You think so?
Yeah, they're not better than Brooklyn if Brooklyn is healthy and does what they're supposed to do. They're not better than Miami. They're not better than Milwaukee. They're not better than Boston, and they're not better than Philly. They're not. They're just not. So they might be better than Brooklyn if Brooklyn implodes, which is very likely with Cry May.
So they've got Donovan Mitchell, 2 All-Stars, Darius Garland and Jared Allen.
Yep.
I don't know Darius Garland.
Their starting 5 can match up with almost anybody. They don't have any depth.
And Rookie of the Year runner-up Evan Mobley.
Yep, they got him.
So they've got a decent team.
They've got a top 6 that is good. After that, they're not deep. One injury. All going to take one injury, which will happen. Okay, so
franchise has 13.
They're at best. They're at best, and this is if Brooklyn implodes or somebody gets injured. They're at best 5th.
Dude, listen to this. As Utah reshapes its roster, the franchise has 13 unprotected or lightly protected first-round picks through 2029.
Yeah, that's how you rebuild.
That is no. That's
he's done it.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
He's done it. Yeah, and he did it in Boston.
I've never heard of somebody having 13
Did
picks
you know what we got in return
7 years.
when we traded Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn? Do you know what we got in return for that pick? That trade got us Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
But you didn't get that many picks.
We got 5 picks. We got 5.
Okay.
And they were all first rounders.
Okay, but
5.
They have 13.
And Brooklyn.
And by the way, Brooklyn, you're ridiculous for that trade.
It was the stupidest trade ever.
Awful.
And I laughed at it. We all laughed at it. We're like, this guy must be Russian.
And then didn't the Celtics end up beating them in the playoffs?
He kind of swept him.
He kind of swept him. Well, that's interesting.
It wasn't even a gentleman's sweep. It was a get the fuck out.
It would be nice to see Cleveland decent this year.
They're going to be decent. They're a playoff team, and they're probably they're 5th or 6th. And depending on who they draw and what they might win a round. Who knows? They're good. They're just not deep.
We're a buck 24 in. We got to say goodbye.
Basketball. Anyway,
baseball.
Baseball.
Before we go.
Oh, what? What? Oh no. What are you
baseball doing? Scores?
Oh yeah. Give them updated. What are we looking at?
Pretty
Real
sure
quick,
the
sorry about that.
Dodgers were behind 4-3 last time I checked.
Holy shit balls.
Padres were winning.
MLB.
And that was the 7th inning.
You
I
have
have trouble getting service out here.
you got the Padres at the top of the 8th, 5-3. Braves
5-3.
5-3, top of the 8th.
Braves won.
And
3-0.
Braves shut them out. Dude, the dude for the Braves pitched a 3-hitter. The dude for Phillies only gave up 4 hits.
Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, Major League Baseball playoffs continue tomorrow. So we're going to be down there. Oh, deep dish pizza.
Are you going to eat it?
I don't know. I'm probably going to be stupid and do it because I can't stare at that and not have a slice.
Custom made.
I might have to drink some, what, to flush the old pipes because they're going, I'm going for surgery on Friday. Wish me well. Or say a prayer.
Good
Or
luck.
if you want me dead, then do that
I
too.
will be thinking about you.
Do that, do that too. Now's your chance.
Dude, let me ask you something.
What?
So, since I don't pray, I don't really believe in God.
Okay.
I never say thoughts and prayers.
Okay.
But, like, do you still get the same comfort out of, like, I keep you in my thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you don't gotta be showing you have empathy, you care for other people. You don't have to be religious to do that.
Okay.
I mean, look at people. There's nothing wrong with saying I simply don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, because
exactly.
nobody really knows.
Right. That's
okay,
my
we're hoping, we're believing. We don't know who wrote that fucking. Are you kidding me? So it's all hearsay. We don't know. Oh, it's in the book. Well, who wrote the fucking book? And what were they on when they wrote it?
Well, I definitely don't believe in the book.
So who knows? I'm saying and all these religions are eerily similar. Okay, so who knows?
I have a feeling that there's a God.
I don't.
But
well, something had to create all this because there are things science can't explain, and to me, that's the thing.
Maybe.
There are things that science cannot explain. It's
There's
just
things that nothing can explain.
Well, to me, that's God. If there is a
Maybe.
God, whatever it is, something's out
Maybe.
there. I'm not. Look, I was Catholic school. All that education. I'm just saying, I don't know. I want to believe. I want to believe my father's in a better place. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he is. I hope he is because he deserves it, and everybody else deserves it. I mean, except you, OJ, you don't deserve shit. But anyway,
to me, it doesn't make sense that it just ends. I think it continues on in some way that we can't understand.
Another dimension. For all we know, that dimension is right among us.
I don't see a situation where you're in some kind of paradise.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems like
I don't know doesn't mean I don't believe in a God. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And I feel like I'm arrogant by saying I do know when I haven't seen it.
True.
If I haven't seen it and I don't know anyone that's seen it, then how do I know? I mean, I don't know that there isn't. So I'm not saying there isn't. I don't know. I don't know. I want to believe there's something there because I think to me there's got to be something because common sense tells me, look, there are things that we can't explain that are beyond our grasp.
Yeah.
There are a number of things beyond our grasp. My mother should have died of breast cancer when she was 10. When I was 10, she's still alive. I should have been paralyzed from the neck down. Not. There's 2 right there for you that I can't explain. And your flatulence is your flatulence is the 8th wonder of the world.
Unexplainable.
I mean, any man with a nickname Thundercrack, you're a legend. I mean, you got to earn a nickname like that. Thundercrack. No one hands you a name like that.
The fact that I'm able to gain 20 pounds in 2 weeks, unexplainable.
No, that's explainable. I've done that. It's called indulging. It's called overindulging. So anyway, we've overindulged enough for tonight with you. But anyway, that is the Redoubtable Tom Izzo. I am the highly questionable one. Hey, enjoy the football and college football, NHL back, Major League Baseball. It's all on the table, folks. Enjoy it all, as we will. We will see you Monday with a Monday night with a weekend recap and a Monday Night Football preview. Until then, tight as a drum. Tight as a fucking drum.
Tight as a drum.
Well, you didn't like Stay Loose. Remember?
That's right.
That's right. It's still on record.